Are you guys ready to rumble? Hello, 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 my friends. Let's wait for the. There we go. How's everybody doing? Welcome to How to Reprogram Your Subconscious Mind. For the next 2 or 3 hours, I'm going to be your host, your guide, your mentor, your friend, and companion on a journey through the concepts that underlie how we create our reality and how we can begin to change it and reprogram our minds for health, wealth, success, and happiness. I'm Dr. David Snyder, and welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? First and foremost, let's go. Before we jump into content tonight, let's get some basic administrative stuff out of the way, and let's talk about what you can expect from tonight's webinar. First and foremost, I am in fact an actual doctor. I have a doctorate in Chinese acupuncture and Oriental medicine. I have been seeing clients in my clinic in Solana Beach since 2005, where I've specialized in treating physiological illness that is caused by repressed emotion, which is pretty much everything that walked in the door, from intractable and chronic pain all the way up to terminal cancer. And one of the things that I've been able to really ascertain in my journey is how much of a role the mind plays in so many of these things, and how we can begin to extract these principles and use them to create really powerful, permanent, and positive change. That being said, I know a lot of us have been Zoomified for the last 40 some months, with the COVID years and then the post-COVID years and then AI, and nobody wanting to really kind of leave their home to go out and travel and do things. So the best thing I can tell you is that we've been conditioned to having webinars in a certain type of format. This will probably not be that format. We like to do what I lovingly call a free form webinar. And what that means is we break that webinar up into 3 distinct phases. The first phase is the foundations phase. It's where we kind of make sure that you're in the right place, that you're getting the foundation skills and principles that you need, the experiences that you need to be able to actually take the information from tonight's webinar and apply it to your life and actually start making change right away. So that's what phase 1 is all about. Phase 2 is what we call the elevation or the leveling up phase, the ascension phase, where you guys make a decision for yourself during phase 1. If it's something you want to take further, we'll show you pathways for doing that. So we have offers and we have programs that we put together. And phase 2 is where we will be kind of outlining the next steps for us, right? Because, if this is the scope of everything there is to learn in the art and science of reprogramming your subconscious mind, even in 2.5 hours, 3 hours, we've got time for this. So my commitment to you is to give you as much information and experiences and drills as I can in the time that we have, to give you hardcore, real world, solid things that you can just take into the world and apply. And I will point you in the direction of where to go for next steps, if that's okay with you. Do I have your permission to do that? If that's okay and you're up for that, go ahead and type that in the chat. Otherwise, for you, it's going to be a real fucking long webinar. And I should probably bring up my next piece before I close in on phase 3. If politically incorrect language, colorful metaphors, swearing, or the word boobies offends you, this is probably not the best use of your next 2.5 to 3 hours. Okay. My intention is never to offend anyone, but I have a very provocative presentation style from time to time, and I'm not afraid to drop the F-bomb when I think it's appropriate or it's just fun for me. So that being said, I've talked about phase 1. I've talked about phase 2. Let's talk about phase 3 for a moment. Phase 3 is what I like to call the applications phase. Phase 3 is where we take the principles that we've outlined in phase 1, and the experiences that we've had together. And we take those and we build those into techniques specifically designed for the areas of your life that you as a group want to address. So some of you earlier in the chat were talking about procrastination. Others were talking about getting rid of physical or emotional pain. Sometimes people want to get rid of self-sabotage. Sometimes people just want to remove a limiting belief or a block to their success. Whatever that is, whatever you want to focus on, that's what we do in phase 3. We literally take this set webinar that we've put together and we kind of throw out the rules and say, okay, what do you want? This is your webinar. What do you want to get from the last section? And we'll keep reminding you and giving you opportunities to really pull the trigger and get the opportunity to work more personally with me and my team. I got to be upfront. I'm really, really excited for tonight's webinar, which may or may not work out well for some of us, because my team and I just finished our first live 3-day virtual healing intensive. We had about 34 people go through a 3-day intensive where we did nothing. That it wasn't like they weren't coming out certified on the other end. They were coming in with all the problems that they wanted fixed. And for those 3 days, we literally just one technique after another, just clearing their stuff, leveling them up, and then starting all over again, and just finding more stuff to fix for those whole 3 days. And it was really well received. People experienced a tremendous amount of value from it. And because of that, we're excited about the possibility of doing it again. So if the idea of getting certified to do something is not what you want, and what you really want is just somebody to help you with your stuff, you're going to want to stay on until the end of tonight's webinar, because there's a tremendous opportunity there for those of you willing to take fast and deliberate action. Okay. There's 2 ingredients to success. The first one is having an identity that supports the actions you want to take. We're going to cover that in depth. The second one is, in fact, action, the ability and willingness to initiate actions and take the steps towards the goals you want to achieve. When it comes to reprogramming your subconscious mind, you cannot eliminate action. There are things that you must do. There are things you must do repetitively if you want the programming, especially in terms of long-term behavioral change. You must do them repeatedly until they stick. In NLP, we have this concept called a convincer strategy. Convincer strategy is the amount of times you have to cycle through a particular set of new inputs into your mind and body before your neurology is willing to accept that change as the new normal. Okay. People talk about lack of motivation or lack of discipline, right? You need motivation to create discipline. Well, actually, you need discipline. Discipline and motivation are 2 very distinct phenomena, both of which lead to habits. And habits of thought, habits of emotion, habits of personality is where we don't have to worry about discipline anymore, where we don't have to worry about motivation anymore, because we've taken that thing that we wanted to make part of our daily life or our daily behaviors, and we've created an automated program that just keeps doing it for us. We don't have to think about it anymore. For instance, a lot of us, I'm going to use some very, very earthy examples for you. Most of us don't forget to wipe our butts when we're done doing our business, right? Why? Well, because it's a habit, right? We would feel weird if we didn't do it, not to mention how dirty we'd be, right? But you have to think about how many of the things you do every day, right? It's not that you want to do them. It's just they were necessary, and you've done them so many times, you didn't think about it. You don't think about them anymore. That's the process. Now, for each and every one of us, there's a set number of repetitions that we have to go through to get to that behavioral change. The way we begin that is by reprogramming the reasons for those behaviors, right? So there are techniques that allow us to do very, very fast, deep, rapid change. And when we do those right, the behaviors that you generated to support those old programs, they'll tend to change automatically. But other things, you're going to need to do a little bit more action. You can't ever eliminate the action step, okay? And but you can shorten the curve. And that's kind of my job. My job here is to shorten the curve for you as much as possible, make it as easy for you as humanly possible. But I can't multiply zeros. Nobody can. And anybody who promises you that they can do that is probably trying to sell you something, and it's probably not going to work out for you. But that is my belief. So whether you consider that a limiting belief or not, I'll let you figure that out. That being said, this is the kind of webinar that the more you participate in the drills and skills that I'm going to ask you to do, the more value you're going to derive from the webinar. If you're just going to sit there and take notes, you'll come away with interesting information, but you're not going to get a lasting transformation or the steps for that transformation. And what I care about more than anything else when I teach in any venue or in any form or any medium is that the people in the audience, whether it's a live version, a hybrid version, a webinar like this, they come away with the ability to make a change, that they've experienced transformation during the process, and they've come away with the steps to actually do that. That being said, let's talk about interactiveness. It's very lonely when you teach webinars and nobody talks back to you. So just so I understand you better, just so I know we're on the same page, if you're brand new to tonight's training, please type in your name, where you're checking in from, and what is it you want to take away from tonight's webinar. If you're a veteran of Planet David, you've been bebopping around the channel, bebopping around the trainings or the website, type in your name, how long you've been in Planet David, and maybe the thing you love most that you either learn from us or that Planet David gives you that keeps you coming back. Laura says, I will always talk back to you, David. Don't let Seth hear that. Okay, you'll be in trouble. So you got Eon from South Africa. Awesome. Matt, 4 years. Love the support and love from all the fellow students. Excellent. Seth, too late. Best NLP training I've ever had. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. All right. Okay. So that being said, for those of you who don't know who I am, I think I gave you a little bit of my rundown. Tonight is all about the principles behind how to reprogram the subconscious mind. So I'm going to go into some information that I don't normally cover in a webinar like this. I'm going to cover some of the old standbys like the emotional motivation checklist and things like that. But I want to cover some things that maybe we don't get as much treatment in some of my other trainings. Okay. So since I'm somebody who hates PowerPoints, let's just jump right into perhaps one of the most important things I want to talk about. Are you in the right place? So are you in the right place? If you can answer yes to any of the following questions, you are in fact in the right place for tonight. So by a show of that's me in the chat, how many of you would like to be more confident, banish fear and insecurity from your life, and maybe move through the world radiating a sense of certainty and comfort in any situation or circumstance? If that's something you'd like, type that in the chat. If you'd like to move through the world being more assertive, more dominant, able to handle difficult people easily, go ahead and type that in the chat. If you'd like to earn more money in your job or your business or sign more clients, go ahead and type that's me in the chat. If you'd like to nail job interviews and cause anyone you like or anyone you meet to like, admire, trust you, maybe even fall in love with you, go ahead and type that in the chat. It's not a bad goal, right? If you'd like to have the ability to inspire your employees, your children, your spouse to do what you want them to do what you need them to do, maybe even get yourself to do the things you know you need and want to do, you're in the right place. If you'd like to be able to lead people more effectively, this is a good place for you to be, okay? If there's anything that I have not mentioned that you would like to get from tonight's webinar, when would now be a good time to type that in the chat? Type it in the chat. What do you want to take away from tonight's webinar? I'm going to ask this question, by the way. I'm going to ask you this question multiple times throughout tonight's webinar because it's really important for me to take your temperature. Because as you learn new things, as you learn what's possible for you, you may discover that something else becomes more important. Something else takes precedent or priority. Renee says all of it. Okay, we're cooking now. All right. So I'm going to jump to my PowerPoint really, really quickly. And I'm going to try and minimize PowerPoint work, but I recognize that, some people really like having slides and things of that nature. So just bear with me here while I do my little screen share. All right. This is actually the wrong slide. So if you stay until tonight's webinar, these are some of the things that I'm going to share with you. And I've already shared the first one. The two most important factors to success. It's not what you think, or maybe it is. We're going to talk about the rules of the mind, the ones they didn't tell you about. We're going to touch on body-centered energy psychology. In other words, one of the problems that we have when we want to do change work is most of us are never actually taught an effective, efficient way to do it. And when we try to figure it out for ourselves, more often than not, we approach it in what my dad and my grandfather used to call bass backwards, short for ass backwards, if you know what I'm saying. So we're going to talk about body-centered energy psychology as a way to get in touch with the parts of yourself that actually know what's going on, what's holding you back, where it is, and how you can begin to trust the information buried below the threshold of your conscious mind. So much of the things that screw us up are based on things we're not consciously aware of. And most of us, without help, don't have a simple, reliable way to, as I lovingly call it, unpack and attack those issues. So if you stay with me tonight, you follow me till the end, I'm going to show you the most powerful methods of self-exploration, change, and transformation on the planet. I put these methods up against any other system, any other trainers or teachers on the planet. I'm gonna pull a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I'll take on all comers. If you can get change faster than what we do here, I'm coming to your seminar. But I keep testing, I keep searching, and I haven't found things that are more bulletproof and solid than the techniques available through these systems. So stay with us tonight. You're going to get a bird's eye view of what's possible for you, both on an intellectual level, but also, more importantly, on an experiential level. We're going to teach you how to program your future or clear your past. It'll be up to you which one you want to do, so that you can finally take control and get the life you want the way that you want it by mastering yourself from both inside and out, starting today. That's on the to-do list, as one of my very illustrious teachers would say. Now, the techniques that you're going to learn tonight are part of an overall system. What you're seeing here on your screen is called the Identity by Design process. Now, I certify people in this process. You can become a certified hypnotist or Identity by Design coach. We do offer that. But one of the things I've now discovered after many years of doing this is that a lot of people aren't really interested in doing this stuff for other people first. They just want to fix their own shit. Okay. So what we decided to do was give people, and that's where the virtual healing intensive idea came from. We decided to create a 3-day event where all you do is come in and I work with you as part of the group, and we fix your shit. We do small group work, we do drills, we do intensives. It was really an amazing time. And I actually enjoyed it far more than I thought I would, because I didn't have to worry about whether the students in the audience could go out into the world and do this with other clients. So I could actually, instead of using the simplified, scaled down versions that I teach in the certifications that people can learn and use, I got to kind of, if you know the concept of jazz, where you just start to riff off the printed words or the printed music, that's kind of what I get to do in these intensives, and we have some amazing transformations for people. So I'm excited. But what we're going to be talking about tonight is the Identity by Design process, which is 7 basic steps. Now, obviously, in a 2.5 hour, 3 hour webinar, there's no way that I could condense 5 days of training into this event. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cherry pick from this system. And then if you're interested in just in the parts that I share with you, I will show you how to get access to the entire system, either as somebody who is certified to learn and coach in this, or an opportunity to work with one of my certified coaches that I've trained up, or myself. So the first thing that happens in the Identity by Design process is clearing general negativity. Now, this is what's really, really interesting, is that there's a lot of times that we accumulate negative ideas, thoughts, memories, impressions, and we're not even conscious of the things we've collected. So think of it like, if you've ever done any kind of cooking or baking, think of it like soaking the pot before you throw it in the dishwasher, before you have to scrub anything. You soak it, you get rid of all the stuff that you would have had to work on anyway, but you get it out in one big, massive dump, right? That's general negativity clearing. From there, we go into what is known as specialized negativity clearing. Now, one of the things that you're going to discover, we're going to spend a lot of time actually tonight on tonight's webinar on this particular level of the identity by design process, because it tends to be the one that screws most people up consistently. If you've ever had a problem that goes away and comes back, or you have like, say you have a problem that's like on a scale of on 1 to 10, it's like a 9, right? And you go to a practitioner and you go to work with them on something, and they work on it, and it keeps going down and it keeps getting better, and all of a sudden it hits like a 2 or a 3 or a 1, and it just stops. It just does not get better, and it should. You're dealing with what we call specialized rules of negativity. So let me talk about that for just a minute. When we talk about the rules of the unconscious mind, if ignorance of the rules of the unconscious is no excuse. If you don't know these rules, change can be extremely long, hard, arduous process. But one of the dynamics of your other than conscious mind, right, is it's designed is to keep you safe. Now, your unconscious mind doesn't need your conscious mind's permission to make a decision, right? Anytime any of you have ever been on a diet and 3 weeks later, when you least expect it, you're up to your waist in the refrigerator looking for donuts and beer or whatever's in there, right? Your unconscious mind didn't ask your permission to do that. It just went and did it, right? Because it has certain priorities, certain agendas that it wants to keep. One of which is it sorts for what's familiar. This is one of the biggest, most important mental principles you need to understand. Okay, and we're going to put a pin in that one for right now and come back to it. But one of the other prime directives that it has is its job is to help you, is to keep you safe, and its primary job is to keep you physically safe. Okay, now many times the emotional setbacks that we go through, the losses of a job or a business or a loved one, in terms of relationships ending, is so painfully intense, your nervous system actually believes that it's going to kill you. That's actually one of the reasons why we develop trauma in the first place, is because the boundary violations that we experience are so intense and so pervasive. The neurology is pretty much convinced we're about to die. And so it goes into protection mode. Okay. Again, I'll put another pin in that. We'll circle back. But if the same problem keeps happening over and over and over again, your unconscious mind will sit back and say, wait a minute. Every time so-and-so did such and such, XYZ happened. I need to protect them from this. How can I protect so-and-so from the pain from such and such when XYZ happens? I know if I put a little pain there, or if I never let them in that situation again, then they can never experience that loss or that pain, and they're safe. And so what happens is, to get a little bit more concrete for you, let's say that you're an entrepreneur and you start a business and you build that business up, and then all of a sudden some calamity or some miscalculation comes along and the business just goes bankrupt, belly up, boom, right? So being the tough-minded entrepreneur that you are, you pick yourself up by the bootstraps, you start the process of rebuilding, and you start another business, and you build it and you build it and you build it and you build it and you build it. And all of a sudden, poof, a pandemic comes along, or a recession, or a depression, or a real estate bust, or so, and all of a sudden, poof, it's gone again. Right? Well, after a certain amount of losses like that, your neurology is going to sit back and say, every time this person was in this situation, they lost it and it hurt them. How do I make sure that they never experience that kind of loss again? And in its all-powerful way, your other than conscious mind will say, I know if they never have another business, they can never lose it, and they'll never feel that level of pain again. Your unconscious mind flips a switch, and now you know what to do. You know how to do it. You have the money to do it. You know where to do it. You know who to do it with, and you can't get out of the gate. You can't launch it, right? That's specialized negativity. Same thing happens in relationships, right? You've been through a relationship, it's going great, all of a sudden, poof, cheats on you with the best friend, or dies in a car accident, or whatever it is. So what do? You tough it out. You get through it. You lift yourself up, right? You get back in the game, so to speak. You create another relationship. Poof, that person disappears. Well, after a certain amount of those, the same mechanism is going to kick in. Your unconscious mind is going to say, hey, wait a minute. Every time they get in a relationship, it goes bad. This hurts. I got to make sure that this never happens again. Got it. If they never have another relationship, they can't lose it. They can't get hurt. Now, you all know someone like this, right? Someone who just can't connect or won't, right? They push people away, right? This is specialized negativity. Last example I'm going to give you. Someone's in a car accident, or maybe maybe as a young person, they're a daredevil, right? And they keep getting injured, and they keep going back to the sport or whatever. And after a couple of these injuries happen, the person starts to notice that even though the MRIs and the CT scans and the doctors say there's nothing physically wrong, every time you go to a certain range of motion, a pain starts, or there's a little ache that's always there, right? You're also, in many cases, dealing with a safety lesson. Why? Because your unconscious mind doesn't trust you to not do it again. So what it does is it says, I know how to stop them from doing this. Every time they go beyond a certain range of motion, they injure themselves. If I give them a little bit of pain that's always there, or just goes off like a warning light or a check engine light on the dashboard, every time they get to that range of motion, they can never exceed it, and it'll remind them not to do that anymore. Safety lesson. Okay, I've literally had people who had back pain for years, preserve their safety lessons, and all of a sudden their pain went away because the unconscious mind said, oh, they understand. They got the message. Okay. So we're going to spend quite a bit of time. Whoa. I'm not sure if we just had a tremor, or I just got vertigo. Anyway, we're going to spend quite a bit of time both individually, or in part one, and in part three of the webinar. Okay. Chainsaw says that serious specialized negativity sucks. It does, but it doesn't. And let me explain that. You got to understand something. And this is another one of the prime directives of your unconscious mind. And it's something that, man, if I just wish more people, especially the educated ones, would share this with the general public. Nothing your unconscious mind does is designed to hurt you. Every decision your other than conscious mind makes is designed to help you in some way from its viewpoint. And that's the problem. Its viewpoint is often radically different from our conscious mind one. And it's that conflict between what we consciously want, what we consciously know to be right for us, versus what our unconscious mind is perceived as right for us, that causes the problem. You know, very famous, and depending on who you ask, sometimes infamous hypnotist by the name of Dr. Milton Erickson used to say that your clients will be your clients because they're out of rapport with their subconscious mind. Well, that's actually true. What that means is there's a breakdown in communication, a breakdown in communication of intent, outcome, methods. We have a conscious intent, we have unconscious intents, and sometimes they mesh and sometimes they don't. That level 2 of the 7 stages deals directly with that. How do we start to get rid of that stuff, right? From there, we're going to teach you state. Let me go back to the diagram really quick. By the way, are you guys with me on this? Does this resonate with any of you guys? Type in the chat. Okay. All right. So again, the more you can find connections between what we're talking about and aspects of your life, the more confident you'll be going forward with all the things that we recommend you do to fix it. Okay. Now remember, specialized negativity is only level 2 of the identity by design process. From there, you go into what we call default driver states. So let's talk about that really, really quickly. So default driver states, which is right here, right? Most of us move through the world in neutral to shitty states with a harsh lean towards shitty states. What does that mean? We tend to be focused on negativity. We tend to be focused on things that are not positive. Your nervous system has a 4-to-1 negativity bias. So what we do with identity by design, the identity by design process, is through the processes of hypnosis, holographic memory resolution, neurolinguistic programming, and energetics, we install mechanisms at the unconscious mind that put your normal everyday state into one that is positive. That is a positive state that creates forward momentum. And those 4 states are relentlessness, curiosity, playfulness, and victory. We'll talk more about that. That's a longer process, so we won't have time to really do a lot of that tonight. But we will. That is part. If you choose to take your training further, then you'll learn implicitly how to do that. From there, we go into internal dialogue. Internal dialogue is, in my opinion, one of the most insidious limiters to happiness and success. That little running commentary in your head that's always playing. In case you're not sure what I'm talking about, it's that voice in your head that just said what voice? More often than not, those voices were installed in you in a time and a situation where you didn't have any defense against it, and it was installed in you from people who you viewed as just below God or as God in your world. So they were the highest authority that your nervous system could even conceive of. And so everything they said, you took in as true. And after a while, you actually created avatars of these people and those voices in your head to pick up the commentary that they left. So let's play a little game. All right. This is something I normally do in the Identity by Design class, but let's play with this. I want everybody to just kind of chill out, sit up nice and straight. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to listen to that voice in your head. When you want to do something, or you want to take a chance, or you want to invest in something or whatever, I want you to, the voice that pops into your head, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to listen to that voice. And as you listen to that voice, I want you to notice, where is it coming from? What side of your head is it on? What angle to your head is it? And just kind of point to it. Okay. All right. Now I'm curious. Now, and when you know where that is, go ahead and type in the chat where that is in relation to, think of a clock face and just say, is it at 1 o'clock? Is it at 11 o'clock? Is it at 12 o'clock? Where is it on a vertical or horizontal? Okay. Marianne says 9. So it's here, right? Matthew says 9, 12, right in front of me. Okay. Perfect. 9. Now, when you okay, excellent. When you think about where it is on the clock, so is it at an angle, like kind of like this? Whatever side it's on, is it coming from this vector? Isn't that interesting that it's coming at you from a diagonal down? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Child, very good, Ian. That's the relationship that your parents are to you. When you're this high and your parents are up here, guess where the voice is coming from? Right? This is an important key. This is something, again, even trained neurolinguistic programmers don't understand this. Your spatial memory, the way you judge proximity and location, is actually the most developed and oldest form of memory that you have. Okay. And so this is why, how many people have ever heard of a technique called the memory palace? Okay. The memory palace works. It's one of the most powerful, tried and true memory techniques on the planet. It's literally thousands of years old. And it's all based on creating a building that you go in and you put things on the walls and you put things in drawers. And because it's a spatial application, it's easy to go back and find it, right? Spatial memory is truly powerful. Now, just for fun, we won't do the full process here, but just for fun, close your eyes, point to where that voice is in your head. Close your eyes and look at the space and notice there's a color connected to that feeling. What's the color? You don't type this, but what's the color first impression? Now notice, I want you now to just reach in and grab that color, take it out and hold it in your hands in front of you. Make sure you get it all. And then I want you to put it in the other hand. And I want you to put it in the exact opposite side of your head. And then just listen for a moment. And tell me what you hear, if anything. And type that in the chat. So just take it out, hold it in your hands, put it in the other hand, put it in the other side. You can do it. Babble? Hear nothing? So, in other words, it's not the same, is it? It's not the same, or it's gone. More often than not, it's gone. But making it the opposite of what it was, okay, very good. But here's the thing. Regardless of how it changed, didn't it? Think about that. Regardless of how it changed, it changed. Is that, can change be that simple? Yeah. Yes and no. The question becomes, how do we make it long-term? Right? Because remember I said the unconscious mind sorts for what's familiar. So whatever's there first and longest is what it considers to be the norm. And your neurology is always trying to stay normal based on what it believes to be normal. And that's where the repetitions and all these other techniques that we're going to be talking about come in. But I just wanted to give you a quick understanding. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you need to be up and motivated and you got that fucking voice in your head, all you really have to do is change your posture, change your breathing, point to the voice, take it out and put it somewhere else. And for at least a short time, you'll be good. Was that helpful? Was that useful? Okay. Now, when I do the full internal dialogue process, there's actually a technique. You may have seen versions of it on YouTube. What we do is the induction, but we don't show the prep for that, is called voice of authority. And when you fully install that change to that voice, everything about your life and your self-concept changes. It's huge. It's massive. Okay. So, and I found this out by accident when I'm working with people in the clinic and stuff like that. I always knew internal dialogue was a factor, but I never realized really how pervasive that particular phenomena was to our success or failure in life. Okay. Now, again, that's stage 4 of the 7 stages, right? So I'm giving you think of it like the sample platter, so to speak. I'm going to go deep dive into special negativity if that's what you want. But is this helpful? Is this giving you guys something you can work with? Okay, very good. All right. Finally, what we do is we go in and we teach you how to just drain the negativity from the memories of your past, so that when you look back on the past, you only remember it in ways that make your life better. Okay, so that would be, let me show the screen again. So this is what we've covered so far. So we soak the pot, we get rid of the stuff that the rules and the secondary gain. We install happy, positive, resourceful states that make you unstoppable. Then we change your internal voice, and then we clear all the negative energy from your past, so that when you remember the past, you only remember it in ways that make your life better. And then we take all of this. Let me annotate this for you guys. We take all of this and we install it before your very first real memory. So how many of you are familiar with a term known as epigenetics, as in Bruce Lipton's epigenetics? Okay. Your DNA changes as your belief system and your emotional environment changes. So what we do is we take this entire sequence of processes, we go back to the DNA level, and we install them at a DNA level through the power of your subconscious mind so that it becomes as normal a part of you as your heart or your lungs, and it's always operating. Okay, so that's what we call the remedial part of the identity by design process. Then what we do is we take the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people you admire. So let's say that you love tennis and you want to be the best tennis player humanly possible. Well, through a process called deep trance identification, we can actually turn you into Andre, whoever the tennis pros are. We can actually have you step into their body and live as them and imprint through mirror neurons their traits, qualities, and characteristics into you as a template that you can actually use to generate massive amounts of skill in the shortest amount of time possible. You may also hear this referred to as the Rykov effect, right? The Russians back in the day would take music prodigies who are high. By the way, most prodigies are, by the way, highly suggestible. They would take these music prodigies and through hypnosis turn them into make them believe they were Mozart or Bach or Beethoven, and then they would have them practice their instruments and their music lessons as Bach or as Beethoven, and as a byproduct of that training, their skills went off the chart. So think about it. What if you could be hypnotized into being the next Kobe Bryant or whatever hero you have, and practice those skills as that person? That's kind of where you're going with this kind of an installation. Okay, so that's the entire identity by design process, and that's what we certify people in and how to do. Tonight, we're going to put you guys through a few select pieces of this so you can experience it for yourself. We'll take you as far as we can in the time we have, and we'll show you where to go to level that up. Would that be, is that cool enough? Does this give you a little idea of what's coming your way? Okay, cool. All right. Let me see here. A lot of chatter in the chat there. All right. So let's talk about motivation. Let's talk about the things that get us to take action. Remember that there are two basic ingredients that you need for success. The first one is identity. You need to have a sense of self and a belief system that supports what you want and who you are. So let me go to my OneNote now, and we'll talk about the belief systems for a moment. Okay, so belief systems. One second. Here we go. Okay, so we've talked about identity as a number. Who are you? What's your self-concept, life experience? Your belief systems, you have a hierarchy to them. And this is actually one of the most important things to come out of neurolinguistic programming. There were a bunch of really good radioactive pieces that NLP brought out to the public. This, to me, is one of the unsung heroes of that system. This is called the hierarchy of beliefs. Now, what's really interesting is that beliefs can be organized into spirituality and purpose. In other words, what are you here to do? What's your mission in this life? Identity. Who am I? What do I deserve? What do I don't deserve? Right? What is, who am I? What can I have? What do I not, what can I not have? Beliefs and values. What's right in my world? What's wrong in my world? How do I know when something's the perfect X or Y or Z? Beliefs and values. Then you have capabilities. Capabilities are what am I able to do in this situation or circumstance? You have beliefs about these things. Then you have behaviors, right? Beliefs about behavior, things that I do in certain contexts or situations. And then you have environment. Environment is what am I allowed to have, or what is true for me in this environment? Now, all of your beliefs, regardless of what level these beliefs exist on, are built the same way. That's what makes them so easy to change. But there's the thing about beliefs that we get wrong so often is that we think they're hard to change. They're not hard to change if you understand how they're built. Okay, so let me give you the functional definition of a belief in David's world. Okay, the functional definition of a belief is a decision that you've made or been given about the way the world is based on the feelings you had at the time, combined with the information available, combined with a feeling of certainty. So every belief that you had, you learned it either through experience or from other people's experience, people telling you things were a certain way that you didn't bother to go and check and test and verify. Okay. Are you guys kind of with me so far on this? Every belief you have was a decision that you made based on the way the world is. Right? But regardless of whether the belief is a spiritual level belief, an identity level belief, a value, a capability, a behavior, or an environmental belief, they're all built the same way from the same stuff. There's a language that your autonomic nervous system uses to program, just like we have languages for websites like PHP, or back in the day, we were learning BASIC and Fortran and all these other computer languages. Your organic computer, to oversimplify the human system, has a programming language that it writes all of these things in. And that language is so pervasive that it also, in most cases, as a matter of fact, also controls your physiology. It controls what your body does, not just the behaviors or the beliefs or the emotions that you have, but the way your body actually modulates its immune system, creates disease or eliminates disease. It controls a good chunk of that too. And if you understand it and you understand the dynamics, beliefs are very, 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 very easy to change. The problem is, a lot of times, is we get so attached to that belief that we don't want to let go of it. You guys with me so far? I'm not gonna get super technical, but I want you to understand the basic takeaway is all of your beliefs have a hierarchy, but regardless of that hierarchy, they're all built the same way from the same stuff. And if you know how your system built that belief, you can go and rebuild a different belief. You can modify and change that belief, right? It's a very simple, straightforward process a lot of times, okay? So the other thing now you notice that there was an order to this one. I'm gonna go back to the picture really quick. There's one other dynamic you should probably be aware of. The beliefs, oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's just put that back. The beliefs at the top of the pyramid control the beliefs below it. So if I have a belief at the spirituality or purpose level, it will automatically influence my identity. It will influence my values. It will influence my capabilities. It will influence my behaviors, and it will influence my environment, or what I do in certain environments. But if I have a belief at the capabilities level, it won't change my value. It won't necessarily change my identity. It won't necessarily change my mission. It will change the abilities that I have and the behaviors I create and the environments I can function in. So do you understand the top-down concept of how beliefs function? Yes or yes? Now there's one more thing. You have for each of these levels, you have two sets of beliefs. You have beliefs you know about and beliefs you don't. In other words, you have beliefs you're conscious of and beliefs you are unconscious of. It's the unconscious beliefs that tend to screw us up. Unconscious beliefs don't make themselves known until you provoke them, until you do something that activates the belief, either positively or negatively. So let's look at this right now. All right, I want you all to think of something that you haven't been able to achieve just yet. Okay? Just when you've got that, just type, I got that in the chat. And I want you to create an affirmation. You guys know what an affirmation is? Yeah? And I want you to state an affirmation about having or being or doing, being able to do the thing that you haven't been able to do up to now. So whatever that is. So let me organize or give me an example. I'll just add a piece of paper here. Let's say that currently I'm 195 pounds and I want to weigh 160. Okay. So I might say up until I now weigh 160 pounds. Right? I now weigh 160 pounds. Right? It's that simple. I'm currently 195. I want to weigh 160. I'm just going to create a simple affirmation, a simple, basic, traditional affirmation that says, I now weigh 160. Now, you do whatever concept. What I want you to do now is I want you to scan before you do anything else with this affirmation, I want you to scan your body. Okay? And notice how you feel. Now, I want you to take your affirmation and I want you to say it out loud 5 times. Say it out loud 5 times. You don't have to write it in the chat, Liam. It's okay, right? This is a verbal exercise. I want you to help you to understand yourself a little bit better. Okay? Now, as you're doing these affirmations, when you've done 5, said it at least 5 times, just type done in the chat so I know. Perfect. Done. Okay. So how did your body feel before you started doing the affirmation? How does it feel now? Just type it in the chat. Lighter, icky. Okay, better. All right. So now I'm going to ask you to do something. I'm going to ask you to revisit the feelings you thought you were having when you were doing the affirmation. When you were doing the affirmation, how many of you, a lot of you probably noticed that there was a positive feeling, maybe, when you were, and the positive feeling was it was more obvious. But how many of you noticed that in the background, there was kind of this little icky, naggy, not so much feeling? Anybody notice that? Oh, wait, even the ones who felt a positive feeling in the background had a little icky, naggy feeling, yes? Okay, good. Congratulations. You just found the beliefs you didn't know you had. You see, the feelings that are and beliefs that are deep in our system have a far off, far away feeling. When we're consciously doing affirmations, our conscious mind is closer to the surface of our awareness than our deep beliefs. And those beliefs don't manifest, the ones that we're not conscious of, that we don't know we have, they don't show up until we provoke them. And they're not usually provoked until we inject the positive side of that belief. In other words, the thing that belief is preventing us from doing, doesn't trigger the belief until we challenge it. Okay. So part of what we'll be doing in part 3 of tonight's webinar is showing you how to remove the beliefs you don't know about. Is that cool? Is that something you guys would like to do? Okay. Did this give you some insight? How many of you actually noticed 2 distinct feelings? One very, very obvious, very positive, and one that was in the background, icky and sickly and naggy and whatever. This is again, most of us, nobody taught me this. By the way, I had to figure this out from just myself and working with tens of thousands of clients. There's almost always going to be multiple feelings connected to any change you're attempting to make or impose. The problem is that we're taught to always focus on positive. How many people here have ever heard of my jet plane and anchor analogy? If you haven't, just type "never heard of it" in the chat, and I'll give it to you really quick. Okay, so most people go through life with the equivalent of a jet engine and an anchor strapped to their back, right? And it's natural for us, when we see a direction we want to go, to try and put more thrust in the engine so we can get there faster and overcome the friction of the anchor. But what happens is when you try to put more thrust in the engine, you inevitably create more drag from the anchor. Whereas if all you did was cut the anchor, you'd take off like a rocket because there's no more resistance, right? So when you are doing this drill, what you're feeling is the anchor in the jet engine. The affirmation is trying to feed the engine. But the drag, because now you're pulling on it, is that little icky, far off, naggy feeling that actually has more power in your life, not because it's far away, but because it's deeper in the system. It's part of an older, longer lasting part of your neurology. Remember, the neocortex, the part that we think we operate from, is not very old in terms of the body. The older the part of your nervous system you're dealing with, the more power it has. You can take that to the bank. So one of the reasons our change work tends to work so very, very quickly is because it engages all of the parts of the body, from the oldest to the youngest, and it integrates everything. Okay, so this is an understanding of how do we find the beliefs we don't know about. Right now, in the coming programs, I will show you how to do affirmations that not only supercharge the jet engine, I'll show you how to completely blow away the limiting beliefs. But now let's kind of change tacks a little bit and talk about emotional motivation. You remember on that list of beliefs, I showed you that there was spirituality, there was identity, and right below that were values and beliefs. You guys remember that? Do I need to show you the diagram again? Okay. Here's what you guys need to know about values and beliefs, or values and criteria. The values level in your belief system governs the rules by which you know something is good or not good in your world. So, for example, if you and I are having a conversation and you say that you're hungry and you're talking about fruit, and I reach into on my desk and I pull an apple and I hand it to you, and you look at me like I'm nuts, and you say, "I don't want that." Well, so I thought you said you wanted a piece of fruit. I said, "Yeah, I want an orange." Right? I heard the word fruit. I assumed they wanted an apple. So I gave you fruit, my version of fruit. But they didn't want that. They wanted an orange. That was their version of fruit. So when I say that level, the values level, controls the rules by which you know something is good, right, and desirable, it's for you. That also goes right to the core of your emotional desires and motivations. If you want to become more emotionally attractive to someone in any context, you have to stimulate their emotions. So we call this, the process I'm going to share with you now, the emotional motivation checklist. There's 2 versions of this. You'll learn the other one in either Identity by Design or Killer Influence or wherever. But this one is for us. When there's something that we need to get done or something we want to achieve, like say, we're in January now, so a lot of you have got New Year's resolutions that you've made and you want to maintain. True or not true? Okay. Here's what inevitably happens with New Year's resolutions. Come, mid-December, beginning of January, we're like, I want X. And you make these pictures in your head of the end result of doing and having X. True, not true? Then maybe so let's use a common one. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I am going to look great naked. Right. And you imagine people just losing their shit because they see you in skimpy clothes or at the beach or whatever. Right. And you get excited about that end result. And so you go to the gym, right? And you start pumping iron or doing your laps or whatever it is you're going to do to have that body. And then about a week, 2 weeks, a month, however long it is into that process, you stop thinking about the beach body and you start saying to yourself, oh, I got to go do my laps. Oh, I got to go pump some iron. Oh, I got to lift weights. Oh, I have to. I need to. I should. And in that moment, you've stopped focusing on the emotional payoff and started focusing on the tasks necessary to accomplish it. The moment you make that shift, your motivation starts to go down. You start to get rebellious to yourself because you no longer see it as something you want, something that's good, something you've chosen. And your nervous system, because of how you're talking to yourself, starts looking at something that somebody is imposing on you. And you just want to go like this. Your neurology just doesn't want to do it anymore. Okay. Now, this is something we do to ourselves all the time. But let me ask you a question. What if it were possible to tap into unstoppable motivation anytime you wanted, anytime you needed to, for any reason, even if it was something you never wanted, you never thought you would want? And what if it were also possible to get people so emotionally fired up for what you offer that they would salivate and ask you for the opportunity to take it? How would that change your life? Would you like to learn how to do that? Immensely. Ian has expletive yes. Okay. So for this next drill, you're going to need a pencil or pen and a piece of paper. All right. Now, this particular version is for you. It's called the Emotional Motivation Checklist. Okay. From there, we're going to go right into how to level up, how to get access to the complete system, the programs we put in place for you. So you can take this motivation, you can take the experiences you've had so far and realize you now have a clear path to get all of it, if that's what you want to do. Okay. Elaine says, total loss of control is not an option to me. Risk, yes, yet. Okay. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but all right. So piece of paper, something to write on. Now, this works better or works best if you physically write out the things I'm going to ask you to do. You can type it, but it doesn't have the same level of kinesthetic impact. Okay. So let me just pull up my OneNote here. Okay. So everything starts with a simple question. When you decided to log on to tonight's webinar, there was something that you wanted, right? On your sheet of paper, I want you to think about what you want as a byproduct of tonight's training. right? What is it you want to be able to do? What is it? What are your long-term and short-term goals for the information you're going to get as a byproduct of the training tonight? Okay. And I want you to physically write that out. Just write it out right on the top of your screen. What's it going to do for you? Don't edit it. Okay. Whatever comes up, just unconscious mind always answers first, and it always answers honestly. Whatever comes up, regardless of how grammatically incorrect or provocative or politically incorrect or socially acceptable, unacceptable, it might, write that down. If we're using my weight loss example, if you say, I want to learn how to drop weight so I can look good naked, then write that down. I want to look good naked. Don't worry. No one else is going to see this but you. All right. But be honest. Right. From there, let me make this a little bit smaller. We'll step our way through this. You don't have to, guys, you don't have to write them in the chat. You don't have to write them in the chat. Okay. Although I could probably use some of those to kind of drill down. All I care about is that you write them on your own separate piece of paper. You don't have to share with the class. This is completely your, and then one of the reasons that I say I don't want you to share this in the chat is because when people know that their answers are going to be scrutinized, they tend to hold back. And I don't want you holding back. I want you to throw out all inhibitions. I want you to throw out all limiters and reasons why you shouldn't or can't do something. And I want you to simply follow my instructions and do what I say. Okay. So on the sheet of paper, write out what you want to take away from this webinar. What do you want as a byproduct of tonight's training, right? And then I want you to, below that, I want you to answer the question, what's it going to do for you? So using Elaine shared an answer, eliminate my fear of people in public or even entering my home. Okay, so using Elaine's answer as an example, if you were to eliminate that fear of people entering your home, what's that going to do for you? What's it going to allow you to experience? What's important about getting that? And I want you to write that answer, right? Whatever it is, I want you to, write the answer to that question. Okay? Whatever it is. When you've done that, type done in the chat. Okay, Betty's done. Kurt's done. Excellent. Okay, good. Now, underneath the answer to this question, ask yourself the same question. What's important about that? So, using Betty's example again, fear of people coming into my home. She wrote an answer to that, whatever it is. Now, as you look at that answer, what's important about that? If you got that answer here, what's important about getting it? And I want you to write that answer. And it's interesting that I put, I'd feel safe, which I'm not mind reading or anything. That was from a previous training that I did, right? But write that answer. And then finally, and when you're done, type that in the chat. Mary says done. Good. Beautiful. Okay, good. So now, ultimately, if you got this and you got this, what's important about this? If you got this, ultimately, what's important about that? So we're asking the what's important about the question about 3 times. And so finally, ultimately, now what you may notice if you're doing this properly is as you drill down, you're getting progressively more emotional. That's how you know you're doing it right. Go with your first impression, use the exact words that come up. Okay? And just write those answers. When you've got all 3 answers, type done in the chat. Okay. Now for this one, normally I'd have you stand up. I want you to take, let me get a prop here so you see what I'm doing. All right. I want you to take the answers you've written now. Okay. Normally I'd have you hold it up at about a 45-degree angle, but my screensaver is going to screw shit up. So I'm going to hold it a little bit lower. I want you to take out, I want you to stand up. I want you to look at the answers you've written here. Okay. What you want as a byproduct of tonight's training is right in front of you if you're just willing to take the actions. Okay. I want you to look at the answers you've written. I want you to hold it up at about a 45-degree angle to your eyes. And I want you to read the answers to your question out loud. First of all, scan your body. Notice how you feel right now. Read the answers to your questions 5 to 7 times out loud. Once again, read the answers to your questions 5 to 7 times out loud. And when you've done that, have a seat and type done in the chat. Excellent. Okay, good. You guys are all done. What changed in your mind and body? Ian says, that's powerful. Yep. Yep. You just tapped into unlimited motivation. Okay. This is also one of the fastest ways to find the beliefs you didn't know you had. Right. We'll talk about that in part 3. Okay. Andrew's done. By the way, this is also one of the best ways to get any job you want, anytime you want, have a 6-figure, 7-figure business, close 8 out of 10 clients that come in your door. But we're just scratching the surface. Okay. All right. How do you feel after reading it out loud 5 to 7 times? How do you feel? Give me 1 or 2 words that describe the feeling. Empowered? Disappointed with myself? Okay. Like I deserve it? Incredibly motivated? How bad do you want these things now? Scale of 1 to 10, how much? R.L. Smith says, like a god. 10? Wow. Why so much? Why didn't you rate that less? I think you're all lying to me. I don't think you want it that bad. I'm busting your balls, guys. Metaphorically speaking. All right. So with your permission, I'd like to walk you through some programs we put together to help you level up and get everything you just proclaimed to the universe that you actually want. Is that okay? Okay, Cartman. All right. So without further ado, and with your permission, I'd like to talk to you about the Secrets of Personality Transformation, Ultra Mind Control Training for Success Home Study Course. This is a program that I am very, very proud of. It is easily the most comprehensive personal development, self-help, reprogram your subconscious mind for any level of success that you want methodology on the planet. And I challenge any other system to create the change in you as fast as this one will. And if you're looking for a way to actually create more money in your life, I know a lot of people get paid very, very well to facilitate these processes. So think about that as you're going through what we've got here. Secrets of Personality Transformation is all about helping you take your life to the next level in whatever way that really it looks like for you. It's about quickly helping yourself to make more money. It's a big one right now, especially with the economy and everything else. But money flows to value. Value comes from the ability to deliver value to people and asking for value in return. And if you've got limiters going on, identity issues or action issues, you need to eliminate those, right? So if you want to be more attractive and successful, again, it's all about who you are as a person and the actions that you take. Success in any endeavor comes down to identity and action. If you don't have the ability to change those things, you're dead in the water. So we're going to teach you about how to be successful, free, and powerful. We're going to teach you how to remove blocks to your success, become more confident, how to actually help a lot more people, starting with the most important person in your world, which is you. Okay, this is something that I try to install in all of my students, is that the most important person to help first is always yourself. You're no good to the world broke. You're no good to the world afraid and unwilling or unable to take an action. You're no good to the world unhealthy. So let's make you as powerful and as strong and as unstoppable as humanly possible, so that when you move through the world, people look at you and say, wow, I want to be that. Maybe this person can help me too, right? And by becoming the living example of that, you empower everyone around you. Right. So if you're interested in becoming more powerful and charming and charismatic and irresistible, this is the fast track to getting everything you want in the shortest amount of time possible. Okay. So I put this together for you. This offer is on a limited basis, though. So it's only going to be good until January 15th, 2024 at 11:59 p.m. tonight. So just so you know that. Okay. It expires tonight, 11:59 p.m. So the Secrets of Personality Transformation starts with a 14 video program that covers the entire 7-stage identity by design process, mind control training that I outlined earlier in the webinar. It teaches you step by step by step how to remove the negativity you didn't even know you had, how to get rid of those special negativity issues that just make stuff come back after you've gone through hell and back to get rid of it, and then all of a sudden it shows up again. We'll show you how to fix that once and for all. We'll teach you how to remove those voices in your head on a more permanent basis, right? And actually, instead of just removing that voice, to help you build a voice that you can put in your head that only builds you up, that only motivates and inspires and guides you like the person who loves you most in the world and only wants what's best for you. You'll have your own personal cheerleader inside your head telling you the best way to go about anything and be successful. It's a $297 value, but I think if you think about the impact that negative voice has had on your life, that if you had one that was as powerful or even more powerful in a positive direction, I think you get the idea that it's way more than $297 as a value. Okay. We're going to teach you how to install those 4 pillars of default driver states that empower you to be successful and will actually change your neurology and your perceptions of the world so that you become aware of opportunities for success in ways that your previous nervous system programming didn't. It's really, really powerful. If you ever heard of something called the reticular activating system, you can start to understand how that might be true. We're going to teach you how to sanitize all the negative energy from your past and move it into all of your positive memories. So not only when you look back at the past, do you remember it in ways that make you feel good about your life, the energy that you get from looking at the past now becomes supercharged and motivational and inspires you and empowers you to keep moving forward because there's so much more energy in the positive memories. Okay, you'll have a mind that tells you all the reasons why you can instead of all the reasons why you can't. We're going to teach you once again how to borrow and install the genius and skills and abilities of other people who you admire and install them as a mirror neuron template in your neurology that allows you to replicate those skills in the shortest amount of time possible. Okay. Now remember, there's 2 ingredients to success: having an identity that supports the person you wish to be and become, and the willingness to take action. You can do all the deep trance installations in the world, but if you don't actually get off the bench and do something, that potential never truly actualizes. So remember that as you go through this program with us. Okay, we're going to include the Real World Hypnosis Identity by Design Facilitators Course Manual, which includes all the principles that govern why and how these techniques work, special worksheets that you can use to diagram and process map out each of the specific techniques in the manual so that nobody can use that manual but you. It'll teach you how to do instant and rapid hypnosis inductions. It'll teach you how to do non-inductions. You'll learn the transformational triad, which is something you're going to be exposed to a little bit in part 3 of tonight's webinar. These are all included as part of this program. It's a $418 value. You're also going to get access to a very special online community in Planet David. We call that the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. We'll talk more about that towards the end of part 2, but that's all part of the core package. Total value on that is $2,497 if you were to just buy it through the website. But remember, I want you to have the greatest opportunity. I want to give you the biggest bang for your buck. I want to hold nothing back from you. I want to give you every opportunity to get all those things that you just espoused and told the world that you wanted So I'm going to pull out all the stops. I'm going to include these special bonuses. These bonuses are designed to help you take the system even further and actually build a life that is just unstoppable and empowered in every way. We're going to get you out of hell and on the fast track to the pearly gates in the shortest amount of time possible. So what we're going to include is also the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Program. This is the actual program that I teach people who want to be identity by design therapists and coaches so that they can do this work with clients. So if you're looking for a way to make extra money, you're looking for a way to kind of write your own ticket in this world and have your own business, this is one of the fastest zero to hero programs on the planet. This will take you from knowing absolutely nothing about how to hypnotize a human being and being able to hypnotize people anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance, for any reason. In fact, there are people in the chats, in both the YouTube chats, the Facebook chats, the Zoom chats, that were actually, who've been through this training, that were actually training with me in the lobby of a hotel that was undergoing renovations next to an active jackhammer, and they hypnotized people with 100% success. And apparently I have a typo, but don't worry about that for right now. Okay. So we're going to teach you how to hypnotize anyone, anytime, anywhere, for any circumstance, how to screen your clients so you know who's not going to waste your time and who have the clients and the students that have the highest chance of success, right? That's a big one. One of the problems that a lot of fledgling neurolinguistic programmers have, and hypnotists and coaches, is they're so desperate for money that they'll take anyone who comes in that they can convince to sit in their chair, even if those people aren't good candidates for the change work you're doing. I'm going to show you with almost 100% certainty how to make sure that every person that sits in your chair is the best client for you, and that 9 out of 10 people who come through your screening process will sign up as a client. Okay. I know that that's a big claim, but I have therapists and coaches here who have been students of mine who are using this system, and it works like gangbusters. Okay. We're going to teach you how to find and remove the hidden negativity that your clients didn't know they had, how to clear up issues for them that just don't seem to go away, how to change the crappy voices inside their head into a voice that builds them up and tells them all the reasons why they deserve things instead of all the reasons why they don't. Right? We're going to teach you how to resolve all the negativity from their past so you can clean that up and install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people that you admire and that they admire, and a whole lot more than that. So the total value on this is actually a little bit more than $29.94, but we'll go with that number, even though I'm underselling what's going on. Holly says, yes, I was at that training. Seth was at that training too. Okay. We're also going to include, for those of you who are into law of attraction, manifestation, and things of that nature, we're going to include for you a very special program. This is called the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mind, Magic, and Manifestation Made Easy Home Study Program. This is a program that works kind of hand in glove with the Identity by Design system. And this will also teach you how to find and remove blocks to your manifestation, health, wealth, and success that you didn't even know you had. It'll teach you how to become more magnetic for money. In fact, one of the things we did at the last virtual healing intensive, we devoted almost the entire last day to getting rid of money issues. People were blown away. How to influence people, places, and events remotely. We'll show you some of the most powerful ways to find and remove the hidden negativity that are tainting your manifestation success. How to clear up issues in yourself and others that just don't seem to go away. Things that aren't covered necessarily in the Identity by Design system itself. We'll teach you a very powerful new yin formation method for reprogramming your mind, and that taps into the hidden powers of your belief system to generate all the reasons why you can do something instead of stimulating and activating and putting you up against all the reasons why you can't. It's one of the most powerful hacks we've ever come up with, and it's super, super powerful. You'll be able to attract things you want and change what you deserve faster than ever before. We'll teach you how to clear the negativity from your past, install traits, qualities, and characteristics of naturally lucky people. This was something that was a real game changer for me, was that I realized that naturally lucky people have about 5 or 6 psychological characteristics in common. And if you can install and amplify those in the average human being, their ability to generate more and more lucky occurrences goes up dramatically. So you'll learn what those traits are. And because of your training in identity by design system, you'll be able to actually find, locate, and amplify those characteristics in yourself and just move through the world with life becoming progressively easier and easier and getting more and more bang for your buck and return on your investment. That's what lucky people do. Then we're going to teach you perhaps the most powerful manifestation technique I have ever discovered. This is called image cycling. And there's if you've seen the how to activate your manifestation machine video on our YouTube channel, that was part of the image cycling training. So if you felt the power of that, the next piece goes even farther and deeper. And I have literally, me and my students both, have literally used this system to manifest patently miraculous and impossible things. You know, there's an old joke that difficult is easy, impossible just takes longer. With this particular technique, I have found that to be true in my life more often than I care to admit. We have witnesses in the chat who have seen me manifest patently impossible things. And if you want to know what those are, you can reach out to them through private chat, or if you want to get me telling the stories, if you go to our YouTube channel after you've got your course, you can go to our YouTube channel and type in funny law of attraction stories, and you'll hear me talking about some of the patently impossible things that have come about as a result of that one technique. And there's so much more available to you in this program. We're giving this to you as a way to magnify your reach and flesh out everything that Identity by Design will allow you to do. This is literally the fast track to getting superpowers if you're willing to take the actions necessary to demonstrate deservingness of it. It's a $1,497 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free. Total combined value, everything we've talked about so far, is $5,491. But we're not done yet. We got a couple more things that I think you will find really, really powerful. Actually, Melissa, this reading the power of, actually what will happen is if you have a familiarity with Murphy's stuff, this will actually help you functionalize everything he's teaching you to a much more powerful and accelerated degree. Some of the early books, like Neville Goddard, which I have a profound respect for, and Joseph Murphy, they all talk about the power of the I am, or the subconscious mind, but they don't go into mechanics. They don't go into like very specific methodologies. This gets really, really specific step-by-step things that tap into the inherent latent power of that neurological programming language and the vibrations and energies in your fields to allow you to take things faster and deeper. So it's a great question, and I'm glad you asked it. $5,491 value, but we're not done yet. We're also going to include perhaps one of the most powerful influence programs that we've ever put out for language. Now, people might ask when they see the package, like, Dave, wait a minute. You're teaching us about how to reprogram our subconscious mind and how to use that to manifest things. The question becomes, why are you offering me a course on persuasion? Because there's two aspects to manifesting what you want in life. One is what we call identity or inner game. We call that mindset, right? If you ever go to type in mindset and mental health and things of that nature, that's what the Identity by Design system is really about. But there's another side of that. If you think about it from a inner game versus outer game, it's the ability to express yourself in ways that make people want to do the things you want them to do, that allow you to move through the world with less and less and less friction. So you guys remember how you felt when we did the emotional motivation checklist and how you got excited and motivated? This program will teach you how to make every single person you encounter feel that way about whatever it is you want them to feel that way about. So if you want them to buy your product or service, you'll find out their emotional reasons. You'll tap into that. You'll link it to what you offer, and they will ask you to buy. If there's a job that you want, you go in, you sit down at the interview, you find out what they want, you link it to yourself, and they'll ask you to take the job many times, even if you're not the best qualified for it. We have literal proof in the, people in the chat that this is true for. But it goes even beyond that. This will allow you to do these powerful skills to inspire, motivate, lead, manage, resolve conflicts, generate love, connection, and attraction with anyone you meet, anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance. It'll teach you how to bond with people emotionally so powerfully that the thought of not having you in their life to some degree is completely alien to them. Okay. It'll teach you how to control your own emotions so that no one can control them for you or against your will for any length of time ever again. And then ultimately, how to take that emotional control that you've developed and use it to inspire and lead and influence other people to want to do the things that you want them to do. If you've ever looked for a way to amplify and magnify your particular form of charisma, this is it. Okay. It's all ethical. It's all honest. There's no lying, deceiving, manipulation of any kind. It's the most ethical influence system on the planet. And it's the fastest, most reliable and dependable way for you to get everything you want, because you'll have people liking, loving, and trusting you in minutes, hanging on your every word, and you'll move through the world with a kind of magnetism that makes people just want to be in your aura, to be part of your entourage. And there's so much more to that. I've only begun to tap into some of what's powerful. And that's not even counting the 7 most powerful hypnotic language patterns that turn everything you say into an irresistible, compelling hypnotic induction. You become the most charismatic person in the room, in the chat room, over the Zoom call, on the internet, through your email. If you write sales copy, if you write information, if you're doing presentations, this will make everything you do so fun to listen to and so compelling, you'll be amazed how you ever got along without it. But don't take my word for it. Practice these techniques and you'll be amazed at what they can do. Okay. This is a $1,950 value, but we're going to give this to you absolutely free, because not only do we want you to have the inner game, do we want to remove the blocks to your success and give you the mindset and the ability to take an action, we want you to be able to take an action that has the greatest chance of succeeding and inspiring people to do what you want them to do in the real world, not just in your head. So total combined value for this is $7,441 if you register before the end of the webinar. There's one more area that we touched on at the beginning of tonight's webinar, and that was about belief systems. Now, let me ask you a question. What if for every single limiting belief that you had, both the ones you know about and the ones you don't know about, you had at least 14 different ways to change that belief? Would that be something that could have a significant impact in your life? Yes or yes? If you do any kind of negotiation, mediation, therapy work, client work of any kind, sales and marketing, what if for every reason or objection for not doing what you want them to do, you have 14 different ways to change it in seconds? More if you started combining them. What would happen to the amount of yeses and compliance and willingness to follow your lead that the people around you generated? How would that change your life? That is exactly what this particular program, Renegade Reframing, is designed to do. It's designed to give you the power and the ability to change any belief or overcome any objection or win any argument literally in just minutes. It is one of the most powerful conversational tools on the planet. And it's a lot of fun to learn when you do it the way we teach it. So if this would be something that you might find useful, what would now be a good time to click any links that show up in your chat very, very soon. It's a $1,950 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free if you grab your course before the end of the webinar. $9,391 value, combined value. Go ahead and click those links if you want to. So let's just review exactly what we're doing. You're going to get the 14 video plus manual 7-stage identity by design process. This is called the Secrets of Personality Transformation. This is a self-transformation program. This is not the difference between personality transformation and the hypnotherapy certification is that the personality transformation program is designed for you to use on yourself. Bonus number 2, real world identity by design hypnotherapy certification is designed for you to do with clients. So there's a lot more client and professional training in that program than there is in the self-development program, the 2497 program. So between those two, you not only have the ability to help yourself, you now have the ability to open a business, go out and actually start changing people's lives for the better. It's a $1,497 value. The second bonus, Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mind Magic and Manifestation Masterclass. This is now how you can start to leverage all the transformations that you've made through identity by design and through personality transformation, and now start tapping into the non-local and quantum effects to pull good things into your life, to manifest more abundance, more love, more safety, security, excitement and romance, whatever it is you want to manifest more of. This will allow you to leverage that. It's a $1,497 value. Again, we're going to include these bonuses absolutely free for you, including the Stealth CPI Level 1 Universal Persuasion Protocol. It's a $1,950 value. And of course, the Renegade Reframing home study course that allows you to just take any belief from any source, any argument from any source, any objection from any source, and instantly change it. Right. When I do my weekly coaching and we reach this particular module, I literally have all of my students write down every limiting belief they know they have. And as I teach them these reframe patterns, I have them attack their own limiting beliefs with these reframes. And in seconds, they can't go back to the old belief anymore. It completely frees your mind to make powerful changes. It's just a byproduct of the process. Right? Total value here is $9,391. So obviously, as you know from past webinar experience, I'm not going to make you pay, $9,391, right? I want you to have every opportunity. I want to eliminate every excuse that you have. It costs too much. It takes too long. It's too expensive. All right. If you're not going to do this, what are you going to do instead? What other program will give you this kind of bang for your buck? So I'm not going to charge you $993.91. I'm not going to charge you $63.47. Heck, I'm just going to skip right to the nitty gritty here. If you want this program, right, all you need to do is invest one small installment in $997. You'll get everything. Okay. If you need a little extra help, we can do that. Break that up into 3 easy installments of just $397 each, right? Changing everything about your life has never been faster or easier, right? If you want the next, however long you've been on this planet, take that number. If you want the next number of years to be the same as before, keep doing what you're doing, right? But if you want something more, if you want something better, if you're ready to make a change now, click that link in your chat. Go to www.nlppower.com/mind. Click the link, nlppower.com/mind. Just click that link. Let us get you in the funnel and really start helping you, walking you through the change work process, clearing those limiting beliefs, removing the blocks to your success, dissolving the fear from your life, the emotional pain and suffering you've been carrying around. All of those things are temporary. They can go away if you're willing to take the action. Like I said, I can't want it more than you do. So go ahead and click your link and go ahead and grab your program. If you have any questions at all about this, Moss and Mia are available both in the chat. They're available at our customer service line. You can email them as well. Although I would recommend you call them directly or email them directly or talk to them directly through chat, because there is a limiter on this. It expires at 11:59 p.m. tonight. So if you don't want to miss these amazing opportunities for yourself, go ahead and click that link right now, reserve your spot, and we're going to keep going. Okay. Go ahead and click that link, nlppower.com/mind. You can go ahead and type it into your address bar if the link's not working properly. Now, for those of you who are on the fence, I want to tell you right now that you have absolutely zero risk for this. Okay, I'm more than happy to put my money where my mouth is. Click that link, test drive this program for 60 days. Hell, if within 30 days, you're not on the fast track, if you're not removing blocks to your success, if you're not on the fast track to creating more abundance in your life, if you're not feeling better about yourself in the world and having more confidence in any situation, let us know. If we can't walk you through the sticking points and get you back on track, we'll refund your money. Take a full 60 days to test drive that program. If at the end of 60 days, you're not getting the results we're talking about, if we're not if you in fact realize that we actually under promoted what this program is capable of doing, we'll give you your money back. Because again, if it's not working for you, I want you to find something that does. But I know from hundreds, if not thousands of people who have gone through this program now, that it does work, and it works really friggin' well. So your satisfaction is guaranteed, or I will refund every dime you've invested. All you got to do is click that link right now, nlppower.com/MIND. So go ahead and do that. Click your links, right? And if this wasn't enough already, for those of you who are early adopters, for those of you who know that the victories go to the people who take action, I want to reward that. I want to give you these fast action bonuses. The first one we're going to give you is the opportunity to train at the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program and Practice Group. This is a 3-month trial membership. And what that is on the third Saturday of every month, we all get together, either virtually or in person or both. I literally go around the room and I say, Frank, what do you want to learn? Rita, what do you want to learn? Moss, Seth, what do you want to learn? Holly, what do you want to learn? Stephanie, what do you want to learn? And I just go around the room and I figure out what it is that people want to focus on. I look at what they've written on the board, all the connecting threads, and then for the next 4 to 5 hours, I drill you personally on those skills until you can do them in your sleep. At the end of those 4 or 5 hours, you go out into the world and you actually apply those skills. You come back next month and I do the same thing. What do you want to learn? 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 We look at what people want to focus on for that training period, and we just drill down until you can do those skills. You will not get a certificate from the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Practice Group. What you will get is something dramatically more important. 2 things, actually. You will get the hands-on training and practice and feedback that you need to be able to do these things in the real world, in real time, on real human beings who haven't had the same training you have. The second thing, and probably as powerful, if not more so, is you'll be surrounded by people just like you. You'll be surrounded with a community of people who want the same things you want, who want to get good at the same things you want to get good at, and who are willing to help and support and encourage each other to practice and drill. Okay? That's what the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program is all about. One of the things I am most proud of, both through our YouTube channel, our Facebook groups, our website, as well as the cadre of people who come to the live events, is the amazing quality of the people in it. How supportive, accepting, and open that they are. How skilled they become so quickly. And I want you to be part of that. I want you to experience that for yourself, right? So during your 3-month trial period, you'll get to rub elbows with these people, interact with them. They'll be there to support you, to help you, and vice versa. And the best part is, in case you were wondering, this isn't a fly-by-night program. We've been running this program, ladies and gentlemen, every month, month after month, since 2010, October 10th, 2010. I'm sorry, 2010. I'm getting a little whiffy. I guess the heat's getting to me. But and we videotaped every single one of these training sessions. So as an extra bonus for the 90 days that you're a trial member, you get unlimited access to the entire 13-year video archive. Video that's never been shown on YouTube, never been released as a product, and it covers the full spectrum of everything we do in Planet David, from face reading to accelerated learning to trauma resolution to language patterns to dating and attraction skills, law of attraction skills, psychic ability, psychic development, God, what else? NLP skills, identity by design training. It's all there, right? Advanced energetics and meditative practices that connect you more fully to your higher self and the divinity. So much, right? It's something that we really proud of. And for the 90 days that you're part of this program, you'll be able to watch every single video that's available in the archives. If after 90 days you decide that you've gotten what you needed and you want to move on, do nothing. If you decide you want to stay part of the Planet David community, you love what you're learning, you want continued access to these materials, let us know. We'll show you how to extend your membership. Okay. According to Seth, my arithmetic is wrong. The actual accumulated value here is $10,988. So it's actually more valuable than I've stated. So I should probably have Seth go over my PowerPoints and redo my numbers so I don't have to keep hearing him correct me in the chat. Anyway, the next bonus I want to give you, and this is for people who are kind of like me, a little bit on the impatient side. We're going to throw in a special copy of my Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis crash course. This is a very distilled, concentrated course that's designed to teach you how to get out into the world and interacting and hypnotizing people during normal conversations tonight. Literally, you could download this program tonight, watch 2 hours of video, and be out in the world doing this stuff on live human beings in real time. It's got some extra bonus videos on hypnotic anchoring, hypnotic hot buttons, the 3 magic questions protocol, which is the fastest way to take someone from complete stranger to deep connection bordering on love in as little as 20 minutes. I think there's a video in there on lie detection, as well as the most powerful language patterns that exist. It comes with manuals, it comes with transcripts, it comes with MP3s that you can listen to while you're driving, so that you can take your learning anywhere. It's a $997 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free. Total combined value is $11,075. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. For those of you who like the idea of total immersion, for those of you who want to spend as much time with me in person as humanly possible, for those of you who click this link right now, we are going to include a free VIP super ticket to our next Identity by Design live training scheduled for March 21st through the 25th, 2024. I believe those are the dates here in San Diego. Now, this is limited to the next 21 people who click that link now. That's why I said you might want to get a head start on this. It's a $3,150 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free. This is 5 days in a room with me, doing the drills, getting the skills, learning to embody these abilities, and going out into the world and practicing in real time on live human beings. You'll go through all the change order processes from the recipient side as well as from the operator side. You'll be able to remove general negativity, the things people don't even know that you had. You'll be able to remove all that specialized negativity, all the things that are holding you back that you didn't realize were holding you back. You'll be able to program in your default driver states. You'll learn instant and rapid hypnosis inductions. You'll be introduced to your first regression style technique called the gift. You'll learn about how to remove all the negativity from your past, how to install the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people you truly admire, and so much more. It's not uncommon when we do these things to do special bonus night sessions where we cover special topics we don't normally cover in the regular curriculum. You learn how to screen clients to know who is going to be your best client and have them salivating to work specifically with you versus who you need to throw back and let other people be and let them be other people's problems. This is the most powerful, concentrated way to embody skills that will change every aspect of your life anytime you choose to use them for the rest of your life, if you're willing to use them. It's a $3,150 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free because you raised your hand, you clicked that link, and you chose to be the person you want to be instead of the person that the family and the church and the society and the school system conspired to make you. This is your chance at freedom. So if this is something that's important to you, one would now be a good time to click that link. And if that wasn't enough, let me tell you a few things about this VIP ticket that most people don't know. This VIP super ticket does not expire. So we have a training coming up in March, but let's say for whatever reason, you can't make that training. Well, that's not a problem. You're in our VIP database. All you got to do is let Moss or Mia know that you can't make it. We'll move you to the next Identity by Design training. You have this ticket until you trade it in. Now, let's say that you don't want to go to Identity by Design. Well, and there's another 5-day training that you'd like to go to. Let us know and we'll swap it out for you. Okay. Usually these VIP tickets are very event specific, but there is some flexibility. So reach out to Moss or me and they'll let you know what's possible for you. Let's say you already had Identity by Design in person and you don't want to come back for a refresher, but you know somebody else who would love to be there. You can gift them this ticket and they can come in your place and get the benefits of this 5-day live training with me, right? And many times I pull people right out of the audience and I fix their stuff right in front of everybody. So it's a great way to do that. Let's say a month from now, we decide to raise the price of the Identity by Design training. If you're a VIP ticket holder, you don't pay a dime. You go right to the front of the room if you want to, and it doesn't matter if we charge $10,000 for that ticket. For that, you get to come for free. Okay. So it doesn't expire. You can trade it, give it to somebody, and it guarantees that you will never pay more for your training. Okay. If for some reason the training you want to go to is sold out, but you have a VIP ticket, we'll make an extra seat for you. You just got to let us know you're coming. Okay. So total value on this, it's a $3,150 value if you were at the door. We're going to give this to you for free. So the total combined value of the package that we're giving you is $14,225. Now, is that a good deal? To get $14,225 worth of training and interaction with me for less than $1,000? Would it change your life? Let me ask you another question. What would it be like if you could spend 3 days with me as your therapist, with me guiding you through change after change after change process so that you can be the best version of yourself and you can become fully empowered to live the life you want the way you want it? And the reason I'm saying that, this is an unannounced bonus for those of you who click this link now. I will also gift you a free VIP ticket to our next Secrets of Self-Transformation virtual healing retreat. This is the training we just finished yesterday. We have a bunch of our attendees in the chats right now. If you guys who were attended the virtual healing retreat, would you just type in 1 or 2 words for what this did for you so people know the power of what you went through? This is 3 days with me guiding you as a group through transformation after transformation after transformation. Every now and then, I'm going to pull one out of the crowd and I'm just going to fix your shit right in front of everybody, right? It's an amazing, amazing opportunity. This is not going to make you a practitioner. This is me being your group therapist for 3 days, me walking you through one change work process after another so that you can set yourself free. It's a $2,497 value. We're going to bonus this to the next 15 people only who click this link. And I'll tell you right now that we usually cap this between 21 and 30 people. We've already promised 12 slots to one of the ladies who attended. She runs a podcast. She's going to be offering that to her audience. We've had a bunch of people who were from the last one already sign up. So this is your probably one and only chance to grab this ticket for this price, or for free right now. So again, we're going to eliminate self-sabotage. We're going to heal your physical and emotional pain. We're going to show you how to remove blocks to success. We're going to find and remove the hidden negativity you didn't know you had. We're going to work together to clear up issues that just don't seem to go away. We're going to help change that crappy voice inside your head, resolve your negativity, and get in touch with your true self, and much, much more. Now, if you look at the total value of everything we've just talked about, you've got the Secrets of Personality Transformation Home Study Program. You've got all the fast action bonuses, the VIP ticket, the live retreat. Total value of this package is $16,722. I don't know that I'm ever going to do this big a package with this many live opportunities again. I kind of was conflicted about doing it this time, but I figured, hey, a lot of people didn't take advantage of the December issue. I'm going to give you one last shot at this, right? So again, this is your chance to get, if you think about 5 days of identity by design training combined with 3 days of me being your personal therapist in a group setting, that's 8 days of me working with you. So click your link right now, $16,722 value. You'll get the Secrets of Personality Transformation Home Study Course, $24.97. You get the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Course valued at $1,497. We're going to give that to you free. You can get the Hidden Laws of Attraction Manifestation Mind Control Home Study Course, $1,497 value. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. The Stealth CPI Universal Persuasion System, it's a $1,950 value. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the Renegade Reframing Objection Obliteration Home Study Course, Conversational Belief Change Home Study Course, $1,950 value. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the 3-month trial membership to the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. It's a $1,597 value. You're going to get that for free. You're going to get the Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course. I can't believe I'm doing this. $997 value, absolutely free. The VIP Super Ticket to the Identity by Design Hypnosis and Hypnotherapy Certification Program, $3,150 value, absolutely free. And finally, the cherry on the sundae, guys. You get 3 days with me guiding you through one healing process after another. The Self-Transformation Virtual Healing Intensive. This is completely online. You don't have to travel anywhere. It's a $2,497 value. We're going to give this to you absolutely free. Total value, $16,722. You get it all for just one installment of $997, or if you need to, 3 easy installments of $397. All you gotta do is click that link in your chat right now. Go to nlppower.com/mind, nlppower.com/MIND. Click that link now before it's too late. These are gonna go fast. Now, I'm gonna warn you about a couple of things. These fast action bonuses, everything from the NLP Power Mastermind to the VIP tickets to the live intensive, that's only available while I'm live on the webinar. It's only available if you're a first-time buyer. If you're not a first-time buyer for a webinar package, call Moss and Mia. They'll let you know what's available to you. Okay. You still can participate in the healing intensive, but it's a different process. Also, what was I going to say? Yeah, if when I log off the webinar, the fast action bonuses go away. The core offer, which is the Renegade Reframing, the Identity by Design, Stealth CPI, Personality Transformation, those are available until 11:59 p.m. tonight. If you call and you have questions, reach out to Moss right now, reach out to Mia right now, and get your name and contact information in the system, because if your contact information is in our system that you called about this offer, you will qualify for the bonuses. But if you just call, you get the voicemail, or you send an email and you don't leave a way for us to get a hold of you, you will not qualify for these bonuses. So if you want the VIP ticket for Identity by Design, if you want to participate in the virtual healing intensive, you got to click that link right now. Okay. When I log off, it's done. Okay. So I'm going to let you guys handle that. We're going to give you guys about a 7 or 8 minute break to go to the restroom, replenish your coffee and chocolate supplies. When we come back, we're going to begin part 3, which is where we start to drill down and start the application phase. We're going to start helping you find and remove the beliefs you didn't know you have. We're going to help you get rid of those once and for all. We're going to show you how to do other things, other applications that you specifically want to focus in on. And we'll just spend the rest of our time together drilling and skilling and doing cool things. Okay, so go ahead, click that link now, and go ahead and make it happen for yourself. Okay, I'll see you in about 7 minutes. All right, folks, we got about 1 minute until our break is up. In that 1 minute or so, do you guys have any quick questions that I can answer for you? Please click that link because I want to help you. I want to work with you. And the only way I can do that is to get into a relationship with you beyond the webinar. So help me help you. Click the link right now. Let's get on the fast track to transforming your lives into everything you want them to be. Okay? All right. Let me go ahead and open my chat, not my chat window, but my expand my screen so I can see all of your lovely, shining, bright, happy faces. And oops. All right. So for those of you who are still with us, I want you to think about the things that you want to apply these skills for. What is it in terms of reprogramming your subconscious mind? What is it you want to be able to do? What do you want us to focus on for the next 30 minutes or 40 minutes or an hour or so? What techniques would make everything you've invested in tonight worth your time, energy, and effort? Go ahead and type it in the chat. Don't be bashful. Okay. This is a majority vote. And so I will organize the things we focus on based on what you as an aggregate want to learn. And I'm also paying attention to my wonderful family over on our YouTube side of the world. They are so awesome. Everyone over there is just so loving and so excited and positive. And I just wanted to shout out to you guys and say I am so grateful for each and every one of you, for the community we've all built together, and for you for being part. You are the most important parts. All of you are the most important parts of Planet David. It's not me. I'm just a figurehead, but it's really the quality of you guys who really are on a shared mission to just become your best versions of yourself and support one another and express yourselves. So Eon's talking about limiting beliefs. Okay, we can work with that. What else? What else you got? How to let go of limit? Oh, okay, we got same thing in YouTube. We've got people rewatching IBD Cypress. Wow, the differences. Yeah. Voice of authority. Oh, if I do voice of authority, nobody's doing anything for a while after that. That's a heavy duty induction. I mean, there are people in veterans here who will tell you the crazy shit that happens when you do voice of authority. Right. So, but you have been heard, Andrew. What else? I've only got 2 people that. Oh, now Ian wants to do voice of authority. I shouldn't have said that. Instant inductions. It's hard to do instant inductions over a webinar. Procrastination, getting rid of limiting beliefs. Okay. You did, and you were heard, Andrew. It's 4 a.m. So okay. I'm seeing limiting beliefs. All right. Very cool. Procrastination. All right. I'm seeing a theme. Future pacing. Okay. How to listen to intuition. Okay, the big winner so far from both sides of the world, from the YouTube world, Facebook world, and the webinar folks, is limiting beliefs. So let's talk about limiting beliefs. First and foremost, it's important to understand that beliefs are all built the same way. Now, I'm not gonna waste your time. That's not wasting your time, but I'm not going to focus on giving you information that you can't immediately put to use. Okay. The first thing that we want to understand about beliefs is that we build them. Yes, we learn them, but they're built a certain way. And so there's always a cause. That cause leads to an effect, and then there's a meaning that we assign to that whole sequence. So let's start depotentiating those limiting beliefs. Let's start focusing on the frame. We'll start with the magic frame, and then we'll kind of move into other things. So here's what we're going to do. I want you to take out a sheet of paper, and I want you to write down 3 or 4, no more than 5, limiting beliefs that you know you have. So get out a sheet of paper, write down 3 or 4 or 5 limiting beliefs that you know you have. And then each of you, I want you to type one of them in the chat, just so I know you're participating. Okay. Okay. Snay says they can't. Are you driving? Is it because you're driving? I'm not good enough. Okay. I'm too old to be effective. Okay. Well, I'm going to have fun with you guys. I'm having a hard time making ends meet. Skepticism. I'm not worthy of money. Okay. Not wanted. Okay. Now I'm going to, excellent. Okay. Okay. Create my creative power. Robert, that's not a belief that I know of, but you're all doing something very interesting. I want to ask you all a quick question. The beliefs that you typed in the chat, is that exactly what you wrote on your page? Okay. So here's your first big aha. You didn't write out your full belief. That's not the whole belief. I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for, what are you talking about? Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at what you wrote. Behind that, I want you to type in the word or write in the word because and answer the question. So this is what I'm talking about. Let me show you really quick. Here, we'll use this one. Oh, just obviously. Okay, so one of your beliefs was I am worthless. Okay. Well, that's half a belief. If you want to evoke the other half, you ask the magic question because. So if you say, I am worthless because, what pops up into your head? Okay. Because I didn't find the right job. Okay. So you see just what happened here. One of the reasons that we can't change some of our beliefs is because we never uncover the full belief. Does it make sense? Because I also, okay. So now let me close this up. Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick one of those beliefs and I want you to close your eyes and I want you to point to where you feel that in your body. As you point to where you feel it, if there were a picture floating in the space around you that represents that belief and the reason behind that belief, a picture you could reach out and touch, where would you reach out to touch it? First impression. Now, again, the things I'm asking you to do now, I don't want you typing them in the chat now. I will tell you specifically when I want you to type things in the chat. Where in your body is the feeling connected to the belief you've selected, stored? If there were a picture floating in the space around you that represented the cause of that belief, a picture you could reach out and touch, where around you would you reach out to touch it? Just take your other hand, reach out and touch it. Now I want you to take both of your hands. Trace the outline of that picture with both of your hands so you know how big it is. Once you've got that, I want you to make sure you've got the right one. I want you to grab that belief and make it bigger. Like you expand the window on your iPhone or your touchscreen at home, make the picture larger. Notice what happens to the feeling in your body. Does it get stronger or does it get weaker? As you do that, You know which direction the force goes in. Now bring it back to its original size. Keep the size of the picture exactly as it was originally now. Slowly pull it closer to your body. Be very aware that you're keeping the size of the picture the same, and notice, does the feeling get stronger or weaker? Now put it back to its original position. Using your imagination now, you can close your eyes for this if you want. I want you to put a big, thick black frame around that picture. And I want you to take your hand, and I want you to feel along the base of that frame, and you're going to notice some dials and knobs and switches like on an old style television. I want you to find the knob that controls the brightness or the contrast, and I want you to turn that knob all the way to the right until the image whites out completely, and notice how that makes you feel. Now turn the knob all the way to the left until the image blacks out completely, and notice how that makes you feel, and decide for yourself which one you like better. Once you decide that, turn that knob all the way in the direction that you choose. I want you to take the index finger of your dominant hand, and in glowing golden letters across that colored out screen, I want you to write the lessons connected to this experience, positive or negative. So you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Now, some people know exactly what the lessons and the purpose behind that limiting belief are, and they just write them on the screen. Some people have no conscious idea of what those limiting beliefs are or where they come from, but the part of you that created those feelings, that created that picture, that part always knows. So give that part of you permission to use your finger and write across that screen all the lessons and associations connected to those feelings in that picture, so you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Now, some people have no clue what they're writing. They're just drawing squiggles. Some people draw pictures. Some people get really angry, write fuck you, fuck you, fuck you across the screen. Some people write with both hands simultaneously, writing Chinese or Hebrew at the same time. However your body does it, however your neurology wants to do it, just let that finger flow like automatic writing. The screen will scroll like a tablet scrolls, so you have an infinite writing space. And just keep writing until everything that needs keeping is on that screen and everything else has been let go. If emotions and feelings come up, put them on the screen too, and just keep writing. When you know it's done, and only when you know it's done. Now, here's the thing. We're doing this together as a group. Some of you are going to write fast. Some of you are going to write long. It doesn't matter. Just keep going. If I move on and you're still writing, just keep going. Your unconscious mind can follow the rest of the instructions because it hears everything. All right. When my wife does this, she would write for 40 minutes at a time. It's like she's writing a chapter of War and Peace. But when she did it, it was massive transformation. So just keep writing. When you know you're done, reach up, physically shrink that picture down to the size of a postage stamp or even smaller. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as your unconscious mind moves that picture up over the top of your head and back beyond the horizon until it disappears completely. And you all remember what the sound of a hammer when you're banging on a nail. You're nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back. And when you know it's nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back, test it. Try to bring the old feeling back. Try to turn the new feeling off. Notice what happens instead. Now, the moment that picture moves back beyond the horizon, your neurology is going to initiate a shift. Sometimes that shift is fast. Sometimes it takes a few seconds to finish. Just be present. Let the change shift through you. Let whatever epiphanies or emotions come up, let them. There's no need to measure this, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice the process taking place. Allow it to run its course completely. And when you know you've got that, test it. Try to bring the old feeling back. Try to turn the new feeling off and notice what happens instead. And when you're satisfied, stop testing and type in the chat what just happened for you. Ian says, I'm sweating like crazy. Yep, that's normal. Terry says, emotions. Jody says, I just let go. Feel like I could work for days. Boom. I feel clearer. You guys are doing great. Rock the house. The Chosen is asking, would you say that Tetraya gets rid of limiting beliefs faster than sleight of mouth? Not necessarily. They're very different ways of approaching belief change. I think it depends on the person and the belief. I really do. Now, can change really be that simple? Yes. If you understand the technology, if you understand the system. Okay. So let's do this. Let's do a couple more. You guys got anything else you want to change? Ian says, I'm actually feel a bit afraid. Is that normal? 100% normal, because it's different. You're used to feeling different. Renee says a weight has been lifted. Okay. So point to where you feel it. As you point to where you feel it, if there were a picture floating in the space around you that represents that issue, that thing you want to change, a picture you could reach out and touch, I want you to notice that there's a place around you where that picture is located. Reach out and touch it, first impression. Trace the outline of it with both of your hands so you know how big it is. Test it, make sure you got the right one, right? Moving it bigger, smaller, moving forward and back. Okay. All right, Andrew, if it's in the spot of your back you can't reach, imagine you could take your hands and pass them through the front of your body, grab it, and pull it out in front of you. Okay. Trace the outline of it with both of your hands so you know how big it is. Put a big, thick black frame around it. Feel along the base of the frame. Just like before, you're going to notice some dials and knobs and switches like on an old style television. Find the knob that controls the brightness or the contrast. Turn the knob all the way to the right until the image whites out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. Turn the knob all the way to the left until the image blacks out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. Decide which one you like better. Turn the knob in the right direction. Take the index finger of your dominant hand, and when you're ready, in glowing golden letters, write the lessons connected to that experience across that colored out screen so you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Now, the secret to this is to just keep writing. If feelings and emotions come up, put them on the screen, right? If you want to draw, however that finger wants to express itself, just keep writing. Okay? When you know it's done, and if feelings and emotions come up, put them on the screen too. Just keep writing. The screen will scroll. When you know you're done, and only when you know you're done, reach up, shrink that picture down to the size of a postage stamp or even smaller. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and changes with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. That frame goes up over the top of your head, back beyond the horizon. And you know some of the sound a hammer makes when you're banging on a nail. Nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back. You know it's nailed back there for all eternity, impossible to come back. Test it. Try to bring the old feeling back. Try to turn the new feelings off. Notice what happens instead. Take all the time you need to let the processing happen and take place. Some people it's fast. Some people it takes a while. You'll feel things unpacking. You'll break out in sweats. You'll do all kinds of crazy, weird physiological stuff. That's just your neurology resetting itself. It's just the emotional detox. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice the process taking place. Allow it to run its course completely. And when you know it's done, test it. All bad emoticons are gone. Yay, Snake. Cheering up as, yep. Very good. Again, all kinds of crazy physiological things happen because what you're doing, my friend, is you're integrating all the different aspects of your being, from your autonomic nervous system to your central nervous system to your proprioceptive nervous system to your interoceptive nervous system. And you're communicating in a way that every part of you understands for a common goal. And you're using the very language that your neurology functions and writes all of its stuff in. So Terry says, my mind has drawn a new picture to replace that old one so that I disappeared. See it as powerful in a different light. Very good. This is one of the things that you'll see. Feeling sleepy, very normal, because what happens is when you reprocess that experience, the emotion that was locked into that container is released back into your system. And when you have an excess of energy, it often manifests as the same symptoms as not enough energy. You get fatigued. It's called stagnation because the body's redigesting that energy, that released healthy energy back into you, and it makes you kind of sleepy. So that's completely normal. Letting go of I can't to I can and will. Yeah. And one of the reasons that sometimes you'll feel a little bit of fear or emotional hurt as these things are being let go is because you've kind of put them at the wrong level of the belief pyramid. It was something that you were doing or something that was in your environment or something in your capabilities level that you somehow managed to confuse and put at the identity level. And you've started to confuse something you're doing or something that you're capable of with something you are. And so as your identity starts to shift because you're letting that go, you'll feel a little bit of almost a loss, but in a good way, if that makes any kind of sense, because you've gotten used to having that as part of your identity, right? Breakthrough Mind says, how often should I do it for lasting results? Well, most of the time, the specific issue that you worked on is permanent. This is actually one of the cool things about this particular technique is it's what we use to resolve things that tend to go away and come back. Now, if similar beliefs manifest, it's because there are other issues similar to the one you just cleared that are being reactivated, and there's more in-depth processes for that we don't have the time to do today, but you'll learn about them in your package. But great question. Does this work for fat loss and sluggishness? It can, absolutely can. There's not many things this won't put a dent in. It really won't. I mean, I've done this on crazy stuff. I've used this on tumors. I've used this on fears and phobias. I've used this on social anxiety. I've used this on cramps and outbreaks and stuff. I've used this on back pain, like herniation, disc herniations and stuff like that. And the reason that this works this way, in my theory, in my opinion, is because your nervous system doesn't really make a big distinction between physical pain and emotional pain. The same parts of your brain that process physical pain also process subjective pain or emotional pain. And so at the level of processing that we're working at, as far as your neurology is concerned, it's all just vibrational data that's being processed and expressed. And once you get to that understanding, there isn't much you can't change. So when you come to like our face reading training, you learn about the holographic nature of the human nervous system, and that when you look at the markings on somebody's face and you unpack a wrinkle and the emotion behind it goes away, the wrinkle goes away too. And the change is instantaneous because you're just basically light expressing itself through refraction. You may be fighting it, or there may be some other reason. There may be a secondary reason why you're holding on to it. Jodian says, I've used it on my ankle that got hurt from an old scar, and I've seen results way better than before. Boom. Very good. Very good. All right. So this is, again, one of those techniques that you can do anywhere, anytime, under any situation, for any circumstance. We're going to go a little bit further with this, but before we do, I want to go ahead and remind you that that what you just experienced is just a tiny piece. It's just one thing of the entire set of programs that are available to you in the Identity by Design, the Secrets of Personality Transformation package. So if you want real superpowers, real fast, click those links right now before they're gone. Get the Identity by Design 5-day live event, which, by the way, you can also attend virtually if you want to. You also get the virtual healing intensive, where I help you walk step by step through all this stuff and a whole lot more. Go ahead and click your links right now. Make sure Amos and Mia are standing by. Holly and Seth are standing by to answer questions in the chat. By all means, take this opportunity now to get something really special for yourself. So once again, you're going to get the Secrets of Personality Transformation home study programs at $2,497 value. You're also going to get included the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy home study course for certification and practitioners, $1,497 value, absolutely free. You're going to get the Hidden Laws of Attraction Manifestation Mastery home study course. It's $1,497 value. You're going to get the Stealth CPI Universal Persuasion Protocol valued at $1,950. You're going to get that absolutely free. You're going to get the Renegade Reframing, Objection Mastery, and Conversational Belief Change home study course valued at $1,950. We're going to give you that absolutely free. You're going to get the 3-month trial membership and the 13-year video archive of the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, $1,597 value. We're going to give that to you absolutely free. You're going to get the Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course valued at $997. You're going to get that for free. The VIP Identity by Design Super Ticket, $3,150 value, absolutely free. And finally, the Self-Transformation Virtual Healing Intensive, $2,497 value. We're going to give you all of these things absolutely free because we want you to make 2024 the turning point for the rest of your life, to make the best year ever and have every year after that just getting better than the year before. That's my goal. That's my job. And I want you to have every opportunity to make those transitions. But you got to take the actions, guys. Click those links right now. There is no excuse. You can't afford not to do this. Think about what you've been able to accomplish in the last 10, 15 minutes. What can you do with the whole system? Okay? Think about the things you really, really want for yourself. Click that link and start the fast track to getting them. I want to help, but I can't multiply zeros. You gotta level up. You get $16,722 worth of transformations that just keep going for one low installment of $997. Or if you need extra help, we can break that up into 3 easy installments of $397 each. Click your links right now and really, really, really do this stuff. Right? I don't want tourists. I want people who are actually committed to making a change. And sometimes making that decision can be scary. But if you want the next 10, 20, 30 years to be better than the last 10, 20, or 30 years, you got to do something different. I'm here for you. Click the link and let's get this done. Okay? That being said, let's move on. I want to do another thing with you guys that I think the people at the Healing Intensive really enjoyed this. So we're going to do another thing. Kurt says, I paid but do not have a confirmation email yet. Kurt, check your spam. I'm sure it'll come through very, very soon. Welcome aboard, Kurt. Well done. All right. So this next one we're going to play with is kind of fun. This is not one that you'll really be able to, the magic frame you can pull right off the webinar and go to town. This next one, you got to be guided for it. So I want you to pick something from your list that you want to change. Okay. And I want you to do your best to follow along as best as you can. I want you to think of that thing you want to change. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to notice where in your body you feel that. And I want you to point to it. And I want you to notice that there's a color, maybe even a series of colors connected to those feelings. And I want you to just become aware of what those colors are for you, first impression. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to take both of your hands and I want you to trace the outline of that colored space in your body so you know exactly what shape it takes. And when you know that, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. You can answer this out loud to yourself. I don't need to hear it, but I want you to answer it out loud to yourself. Does that shape have any weight, temperature, or texture? Is it in your body, out of your body, or both? Answer these things out loud for yourself. And I'm going to ask you a question. How young might you be when you first feel a feeling like this? And where might you be when you first feel a feeling like this? And as you become aware of where you were and how young you might have been, I want you to notice I want you to give yourself a verbal report. Describe what's happening. And then what happens next? And then what happens next? And then what happens next? And I want you to keep stepping your way through that sequence of events until the feeling that you're having first emerges. Like you come to like, I feel X. Okay. And when you have that, I want you to just take a moment and look at that scene up to that point from your perspective of today, you as the adult, looking back on that younger version of yourself. And as you look back on that younger version of yourself, having that experience, first thing I want you to notice, is this the first time you've ever felt that way? Or does it feel like you've had that before? Now, if it's not the first time, we can go back at a later process and deal with that. But if this is the first time, then what we're going to do is we're going to look at that. And if God could reach down and hand you the cosmic do-over button, the universal reset switch that would allow you to travel back through the wormhole of time and space and change that entire event to be exactly what would make you the happiest, most joyful, best version of yourself ever. If anything were allowed, what would you like to see happen for that younger version of yourself instead? And just speak that out loud for yourself. You don't have to tell me. But once you know what that is, this next phase is what I call your Steven Spielberg moment. I want you to close your eyes if they're not already closed. And I want you to create for yourself an alternate reality movie in which you see yourself living the dream, living that movie as that younger version of yourself, exactly the way it should have happened for you in the best way possible. And I want you to make this movie awesome. Okay. I want you to make it as big as a drive-in movie theater screen, crystal clear like an IMAX, turn up the sounds, the smells, the tastes, the feelings, best life ever. And when that movie is perfect for you in every way, I want you to watch that movie. But I don't want you to watch it just once. I want you to watch it over and over and over again. Not once, not twice, but hundreds and thousands of times at the speed of thought. With each repetition, I want you to make it 10 times stronger, 100 times more powerful, 1,000 times better and better than it's ever been before, until it overwrites and replaces every experience you've ever had before. And then it just keeps getting better and better and better. And I want you to notice as you continue to run through that movie over and over and over again, that there's a place in your body where those amazing feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment and point to where you feel that. And as you point to where you feel that, I want you to notice that there's a color, maybe even a series of colors connected to those amazing feelings. What color or colors would that be for you, first impression? Whatever it is, I want you to notice how with each pass through that alternate reality movie, I want you to step into it. I want you to live it. Each time you live through that movie from beginning to middle to end, over and over and over again, that the feelings and those colors of those feelings in your body begin to grow. They begin to expand. They begin to fill your entire being from the top of your head to the tips of your toes and all points in between. And then they just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger until they become so strong, so powerful. They begin to radiate from your body like the rays of a sun, forming a brilliant frame around that new reality movie that you've created. And when you're ready to own it, to embody it, to personify it completely, I want you to reach out and grab that frame and the reality inside of it. I want you to lift it up over your head, expand it to fill the infinite universe. And when you're ready, I want you to take it and I want you to pass it through your entire being, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, over and over and over again. And as you do, notice what happens to that colored shape that was in that part of your body that you want to get rid of. And just keep passing that square through your body over and over and over again until it's completely gone, impossible to come back. And when you know it's completely gone, impossible to come back, test it. Try to bring the old feeling back. Try to turn the new feeling off and notice what happens instead. Now, it's important for you to take as long as you need, do as many passes as you have to completely melt those old colors. Okay. Some people, it's going to be a one and done. Other people, it's going to be 150. And I can never predict who's going to do what. So you keep going until it's completely dissolved. When it's completely dissolved, impossible to come back, you can test it. Now, don't be surprised if you break out in a sweat, you laugh, you cough, you cry, your eyes water, weird shit happens. That's just your neurology resetting itself yet again. It's just the emotional detox. There's no need to measure it, manage it, or make it happen faster. Just notice that process taking place. Allow it to install itself completely. And when you know it's done, test it. Try to bring the old feelings back. Try to turn the new feelings off and notice what happens instead. When you know you're done and you're satisfied, you can stop testing. Type in the chat what you experienced. Eon says, "This is amazing." Thank you. Again, if you want this, click the links. I got way more. Right? Amazing for sure. Got my pearl back. There you go. Anybody else? They might still be processing. Andrew says, "I feel like I lived a different life totally from the point of 18 to now 33. And he says, "Only the good feelings are present." Excellent. You guys did well. Mary says, "Improving my eyesight." Very nice. Very nice, Marianne. You're not the first person to have that experience, by the way. All right. So I'm curious. What'd you learn from these experiences? What did you notice? Megan says, "That was fantastic. Thank you. You're very welcome." Think about what's possible for you now. Think about where you were at the beginning of tonight's webinar and what you've experienced. Renee says the world is spinning in more ways than one. Okay. Again, guys, we've just scratched the surface of I said this to my group yesterday, and it's something I say from time to time, but it doesn't ever really seem to land the way I want people to really internalize this. You are the embodiment of magic. Your essence, your core is pure magic. If you could see you the way I see you, you would be amazed. Help me unleash the magic that is you. Okay? Think about what you were able to do in a few minutes with just the right information. What could you do in a few weeks with just the right information? Sometimes, I think it was Maya Angelou, and I'm going to mangle her proverb badly. A lot of us are not afraid of being powerless. It's that we're more powerful than we can possibly imagine. I know I'm mangling that sentiment, but you are. There is nothing about your life that you cannot change to some degree if you have the tools. Tools are right in front of you. Click the link and let's get going. Okay. So let me again give you our kind of last call kind of process. And I want to take questions. I want to field questions for you. Okay. Breakthrough Mind says, are we just programs, running bad programs, but allowed to program whatever we want? Breakthrough, I wouldn't say that we're all running programs, and those programs are at different levels of our consciousness. But the truth is we are absolutely allowed to make any change we want and reprogram anytime we want. The problem is someone actually installed in us a program that says we don't have permission. So the first thing we do is we dissolve that program really freaking quick. Okay. Sabrina's correcting me. Thank you, Sabrina. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. In my world, that is a fact. You're far more powerful than you've ever allowed yourself to believe. But you have certain programs running that keep you from seeing the truth, that keep you from experiencing the truth. And once you start, we call it seeing the matrix in Planet David. Once you start seeing the matrix, everything to quote the police, everything you do is magic, an act of magic. Let's all be wizards together. Okay. So real quick, for those of you who may be joining us late, we're quite not sure what we were offering or what we're talking about. You're going to get the Secrets of Personality Transformation Ultra Mind Control Training Home Study Course, valued at $2,497. The Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Course, valued at $1,497. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Manifestation, and Mind Control Mastery Home Study Course, valued at $1,497. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the Stealth Universal Persuasion Protocol. Highly recommend that course. $1,950 value. We're going to give it to you free. You're going to get Renegade Reframing, Magical Objection Mastery, and Conversational Belief Change. $1,950 value, absolutely free. You're going to get the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Trial Membership and Video Archive. $1,597 value. We're going to give that to you free. You're going to get the Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course for $997 free. You can get the VIP Super Ticket to the 5-day Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Certification, March 2024, here in San Diego, $3,150 value. We're going to give that to you free. And then finally, you're going to get the VIP Super Ticket to the Self-Transformation Virtual Healing Intensive, scheduled for April 12th, 13th, and 14th. Here, anywhere in the world. It's going to be it's going to be on Pacific time, but we had people in the last one came in from the UK, they came in from Ireland. I think we had some people from Australia on board. By all means, everyone's welcome. It's a $2,497 value, and it was awesome. It was just a wonderful, wonderful experience for me. I got to kind of cut loose and really just unleash my healing mojo for people that I don't normally get to do. And people got to fully experience things. We're going to give this to you absolutely free. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Total combined value here is $16,722. You can get it all of it for $997. And you can break that up if you need to into 3 easy installments of just $397 each. All you have to do is click the link in your chat. Go to www.nlppower.com/mind. And let's unlock your power. Can I give an example of stealth hypnosis? Liam, I've been using it on you all webinar. But as you truly begin to fully imagine the possibilities, I want you to pay attention to the possibility that you most want to have manifest for you, and notice what it's like to actually live that life and how good it feels. Okay? Now, I challenge you to remember what I just said. word for word. Notice you can't do it. Again, when you've been doing this for such a long period of time, it just becomes a natural way to talk because it's the most practical and useful way to talk. But it doesn't sound vague, creepy, or confusing. It's completely ethical, and people love to listen. And I find that that is a superpower in and of itself. When you can communicate in ways that people just love to pay attention to, you can do anything you want. All right. So before we sign off, do we have any last minute questions? Oh, Risa, we have ways to do that. Any other questions? Okay. Oh yeah, Risa. In fact, I'm probably going to be coming out, probably not in the next 3 months, but probably within the next 6 to 8 months. I'm going to be coming out with another stealth conversation hypnosis course, stealth level 2, which is even more powerful stuff. But you have to have stealth 1, the foundations, in order to effectively apply the level 2. But the level 2, you can get people to do all kinds of crazy stuff, like hand you somebody else's keys at the valet station and things of that nature. Is there a difference between belief and truth? 100%. 100% difference between belief and truth. Your beliefs have nothing to do with what's actually true. Terry Wester says, thank you, David. I look forward to meeting you at Killer Influence next week. I look forward to meeting you. I want to see all of you there at Killer Influence. If you're sitting on a VIP ticket, right, and you can't physically get to the live event, take the virtual option and be there. Okay, I've got people set up to mentor you virtually while I'm teaching physically. So if you have a VIP ticket, get your ass in gear, click those links, and show up. All right, well, Andrew, you know what to do. Do I plan to come over to the UK? Yes, I do. I can't give you an exact date right now. I'm negotiating right now with some people in Hungary to go do an event over there. And if there's a way to economically combine and make it like a European tour, then we might do that. But right now, I do want to get back to the UK, whether it's Britain proper or Ireland or Scotland. I'm open to that possibility, but my intention is to get back as soon as I can. Great questions. All right. I want to thank you all for spending time with me. I hope you've had a chance to kind of taste what's possible for you. If you could see you the way I see you, you would realize how beautiful and amazing you really are. Let's work together. Let's unleash the magic inside and help you make your life everything you want it to be. Click the links, because when I leave the webinar tonight, the virtual healing intensive, the 5-day certification, the 3-day, or the virtual, the mastermind mentoring program, they go away. Okay? Do it now, because I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to offer you this comprehensive a package ever again. Click the links right now, and I'll see you on the other side. I love you. Good night. God bless. Please like and share this webinar. Please post your comments and questions in the replay, and I'll see you on the other side. God bless. Thanks to all my handlers and all my back-end support. I love you all.